In the midst of global pandemic, we are still adjusting in our daily life routine and trying to adapt the new normal system. Along with this, there's a lot of challenges and issues that we are facing right now. It includes by attacking our human rights, which builds on existing cases of arrests for social media posts, blatant attacks on the right to freedom of expression, as well as red tagging of civilians and activists.
Magandang gabi po. Kapapasok lang na balita. Pinirmahan na ni Pangulong Duterte ang House Bill 6875.
Kahit naka-general community quarantine, tumindig sa kalsada ang mga tutol sa anti-terror bill. Hindi sila dumistansya sa isyung mahalagaan nila para sa demokrasya.
Despite limits on public gatherings due to lockdown measures to combat COVID-19, this group of young people found a creative way to protest.
The unfair distribution of subsidy to all poor households from local officials.
Bit-bit ang mga kinakalug na baso, humilera sa Alabang Sapote Road ang nasa 15 residente ng Barangay Longos, Bacoor City, Cavite.
Papalimos kami, wala kami makain. Kulang ang suporta sa ng gobyerno sa amin, dito sa barangay namin. Kaya kailangan namin magkumita kahit paano.
March 19 at 20, nag-apply ang mga kumpanya ni Edmalyn at Reggie para sa 5,000 peso cash assistance ng DOLE. Pero hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin.
The challenges faced by frontliners in health and social care due to the criticisms, low morale, misly pay, and discriminations that they received.
Napakahirap ng COVID-19 na to na dumapo sa Pilipinas. Sana man lang naagapan natin to.
Initially, I would say unprepared.
Hindi natin nakikita yung kalaban. Katulad namin frontliners, napakahirap para sa amin to.
Sa part namin talaga ipinaglalaban namin na if ever kukulangin yung PPE, hindi kami lalabas doon. Kasi sobrang nakakatakot po talaga.
So kahit sa video call lang, nagkikita kami ng family namin. Sana maintindihan nyo ng tao. Na we always give grace to ourselves na hindi namin makita yung family namin. Just to perform everything, to fight all these challenges.
The undying issue of corruption, either local and national government, creates grafts, bribery, embezzlement, nepotism, and patronage.
The government imposed one of the longest and most restrictive lockdowns in the world when the coronavirus pandemic began. Government data shows more than 190,000 Filipinos have been arrested since the lockdown began, and police say the number of street crimes have also reduced significantly. But rights activists here in Manila are not convinced. They say the state is becoming more repressive by the day.
The golden mean is a lens through which we can consider human virtues, and also it is a vital facet of Aristotle's virtue theory. So it's important that it is understood and can be easily applied to any questions. The virtues that surround Aristotle's ethics are to be within the golden mean, which involves finding the balance between two mean.
Composure, the state of calmness and tranquility, the strength to control oneself in the midst of pressure. Sometimes we feel irritated. With all of these expectations and numerous works, we can easily be exhausted. And when under pressure, we struggle for composure. With all these doubts, overthinking, and negativities, Having composure is a great way to end this. Composure is having the feeling of confidence and self-control, while apathy is the opposite of all. Apathy is a deficiency of composure when there's no feeling at all, no emotions, interest, and tears that do not fall. With apathy, you will feel numb and unmotivated to everything. And with composure, you will feel the eagerness to start again.
It is in our nature as humans to have needs in order to survive, but to be excessive to the point of shamelessness is too much for us to have. There is, however, a balanced character that everyone must adhere to, the act of avoiding impropriety and indecency, to which we may call modesty. On the other side of the spectrum, aside of the aforementioned vice and mean, one must not be deficient, one must not be less, and most of all, one must not be shy.
We have this ability where we can control oneself, ability to regulate emotions, desires, thoughts, and behavior. And this is the self-control. Self-control can also be known as our self-discipline, where we are the one who has the right to decide about anything. Sometimes we feel clueless and ignorant on what to do, and we call this indecisiveness.
Just like how it is in the saying, it is better to give than to receive. In the middle of the struggles everyone is facing, one must not forget the act of generosity. For being virtuous is to find happiness, and to find happiness is to do good toward one another.
Temperance. It is defined as moderation through our actions or statement. In temperance, we have self-control and voluntary self-restraint. It moderates our attraction, pleasures, and providing us limits, a virtue that balances our action with need. Temperance is defined as lack of indulgence, where self-indulgence is considered as its deficiency. It is allowing yourself to do whatever you want by any chance, and to satisfy your desires and consume your own time efficiently. Temperance, when excessive, might become an insensibility, the fact where we became unconscious and incapable of feelings particularly, unaware, and the thought without caring for anything at all.
Pinag-push up sa gilid ng Commonwealth Avenue ang nasa 30 nahuli sa paglabag sa enhanced community quarantine. Hinuli sila ng mga taga-task force disiplina dahil wala silang suot na face mask, nasa labas kahit walang quarantine pass, o kung meron man, hindi naman kanila.
When we tend to do actions and decisions without knowing its results. Temperance is moderation. It is choosing enough rather than relentlessly pursuing more, and exercising our ability in knowing what our desires really for.
In our current situation, it is hard not to speak up while having a mind that is open to the reality. Thinking of the struggles everyone has been fighting with, we must be reminded to stand still. Alongside working with strength, together with full power and dignity, is one's leading way to being courageous.
Despite the pandemic, there are people who never forgets to be virtuous.
People who never showed self-centeredness.
And people who committed their duties wholeheartedly.
The modern day heroes, our frontliners.
One of the struggles that we are facing at our job during this pandemic season is by putting ourselves, our families, our friends, and everyone around us at risk just by performing our duties at work. Every time that we think about going home to our families, we have this anxiety na what if, although na we are following those preventive or protective measures, protocols, what if hindi sapat yung pag-iingat namin? What if we catch those virus and we pass it on our family? And one thing na struggle din namin is yung about the government na there is no concrete plan para masolusyonan this or to defeat this pandemic. Where did I get the drive to help other people even at the hard times like this? I think for me it's a part of for self-fulfillment na rin because when I was young I really like to be a public servant. I really Where did I get the drive to help other people even at hard times like this? I think it's for me it's for fulfillment na rin kasi when I was young I really wanted to be a public servant or a part of UNICEF or Peacemaker at the middle of war in Iraq that time. So I guess it's only natural for me not to quit in the middle of this pandemic. Aside from the fact that we took an oath for our midwifery profession, now we must guide the innocent, is the suffering and fellowship in adversity. Be loyal to our patients, country, and God. And also, I get the drive to help others by being alive, able, and well. In times like this kasi, acting and being a decent human being means a lot na.
During this pandemic, we as healthcare workers faces many difficult situations. First is our safety. We are exposed to different patients without knowing their history. Second is the risk we are putting our family when we go home. We aren't sure if we are carrier of the virus or not. Being paranoid of the virus is the largest part of our depressions. Avoiding negative news or issues is kind of big help for me to lessen the bad vibes. Watching comedies or animated movies instead thriller and dramas to boost my cheerful thoughts every day. Avoiding negative people who are the one cause of anxiety and depressions. Always be connected to family and friends who give support and showing love and concern. And always talk to God when I wake up, before starting work, at the end of the shift, and be thankful before going to bed. I wish that my fellow citizens will observe and follow the safety precautions given by our World Health Organization. Stay home, stay safe.